Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. And so today's video I read all of Shantelle Marie's favourite books. So a little while ago actually I messaged her asking me to send over some of her favourite books, and she did. And so I've read them and now I'm going to tell you my opinions of them and what I think of the books. So let's just get right into the video. Okay, so the first book is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This book I read a little while ago and I read it in one sitting. It was actually nice, fast-paced, quick, easy read, and that is the one thing I love about books and Colleen Hoover especially. So if you don't know what this is about a woman who has just come out of prison and she hasn't been able to see her daughter in years, and her daughter is living with her grandparents and also her fiance's best friend. And so she wants to see her daughter, but unfortunately her daughter's grandparents are stopping her from seeing her daughter because of some stuff that happened in the past. So you're kind of unraveling that, and you're also seeing a mother wanting to see her daughter and building a connection with her daughter, and also falling in love after some mistakes that have happened in the past. And it's such a sweet story as well. I just loved it and I would highly recommend this. Like, if you want to jump into Colleen Hoover books or just read Colleen Hoover in general, like, read this book. The next book is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheardon. So this book I also read a little while ago and I absolutely love this book. This is a 5-star read for me, just like Reminders of Him, which I forgot to mention. But this is a 5-star read for me. If you don't know what it's about Archer and Bree. Bree has moved into this small town because she has gone through some trauma and she just needs to get away. She recently lost her father as well, so she decides to go to this small town and she starts to hear about Archer, and Archer is mute. So they also start to become friends and everything, and it's just such a cute story. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because there's so much you can unravel from this, and it's just a lovely story. Small town, friends to lovers. I love it. And you see both sides because both have gone through a rough past, and it's just lovely to see them, not get over it, but things get easier and each other help each other out with their struggles. So yeah. Anyway, highly recommend it. The next book is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. So this book I also rated 5 stars, and I also really enjoyed this book. And if you don't know what it's about Aaron and Catalina, also known as Lena. And Lena needs a date for a wedding, and so Aaron turns out to be like her date, but they despise each other, so it's kind of like, a rough thing. They have like this deal, and it's a great book. It's an enemies to lovers, obviously fake dating, and I just love it. It's everything you want in an enemies to lovers book. Oh, also one bed trope as well. There are some few cringy stuff in this that you've probably heard other people talking about, which yeah, I agree, but I could look past that because of everything else that was in this book, and I loved it so much, and I highly recommend this one as well. The next one is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I recently read this and I rated this a 4.5 star. I'm not quite sure still yet, but I still really enjoyed this and I still read it quite quickly when I got into it. It did take me a little while, like the beginning of the book is quite slow, but once you get past the first 50 pages, it is so good, and I couldn't recommend this enough at the moment. So this is about Rowan and Zahara. They work together. Rowan owns a theme park, and there's also an inheritance thing that he's trying to get, and it's great. It's definitely Grumpy Sunshine, definitely kind of enemies to lovers, but then or enemies friends to lovers, kind of like that. And there are a few secrets as well that is fun to discover. Not secrets as in terrible, but you know, anyway, that's what I'm going to say, because I don't want to dive in too much with this, because it is better if you go in blind, because I did, and I felt it was better that way, personally. Like, I did hear, like, loads of people, like, talking about it, but I didn't know the premise of it, and when I, you know, went into it blind, it was great. And the last book I'm going to talk about in this video is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. So this book I rated 5 stars. This book I will probably talk about and rave about forever, so I would check the trigger warnings for this book because it is, like, very dark. But this is, I forgot their names, but this is about this female and her sister's fiance, if I remember correctly, goes to pick her up from, like, a bar thing, if I remember correctly, because she needs a ride, and it was quite late. So he does, and they've never been a big fan of each other, but he does this nice thing for her anyway, and they end up getting kidnapped, and so they go through this very, very traumatic thing together, and loads of terrible, horrible things happen while they're, like, in this basement, and they go through some rough times, and eventually they, you know, get out. But once they get out, they've got to, like, you know, heal and stuff, and it's just, it's an amazing story. I feel like it was written very well. Everything was just so good, and it does keep your attention, but like I said, please check the trigger warnings, because there's some very, very hard stuff discussed in this, obviously. So yeah, but anyway, it was a hard read, but it was one of those reads that you would like to, you know, find out what happens and everything. So yeah, those are all the books that I read, and I feel like it was quite good. And I watch Shantelle Marie's YouTube videos obviously a lot, because I find we have similar tastes, so most of my recommendations I do get from her. Go and subscribe to Chantelle's channel. It will be in the description below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe if you want. It's free. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye.